Back to Menai Sports Stadium for day 2 of the Eggstravaganza. We're joining game 1 of the day in action here. Canberra Roller Derby League taking on Inner West. Shortstop just got lead for Canberra in that jam and called off the jam with how many points, Energy?
I know, 4 points. Oh, sorry, it was just really entertaining for a first jam to come in smashing like that.
Excitement off the get-go. Folks, for those of you who haven't met me before, my name's Commando Roll. I will be commentating on this game with my friend.
Pure Energy, hello.
Hello, friends. All right, we're ready to go here for jam 2. I reckon we have a Velvet Whiplash jamming for Inner West.
No, we had Velvet in the first one.
Oh, no, that's Barbie.
Barbie.
Again with the hair.
Barbie with the good hair. And we got, I can't even see the numbers.
So that's Lemmy Adam has got lead jammer for Canberra. Nice strong wall at the back there for Inner West. Bridged back a little bit by Canberra, which was interesting, but...
We had double blocker penalties, one from either side, kicking off the penalty box count.
Here we go, so no pack advantage to either team. Both. So Pink Mist wearing the star for Canberra in this one.
Up against Jinx from Inner West. All right, 3 walls. We got Canberra at the front. Well, not quite at the front. They're going for a 2 and a 1.
Yeah, there was a lot of tight starts like this yesterday as well, Energy. Not quite so much with the dynamic last-minute changes, but more about owning space and making sure that your opponent has traffic to work through.
Yeah, this will be interesting because both these teams, they've played each other before, not in this capacity, but they've been watching either team play this weekend to see through. Jinx trying to get them to move laterally, loses the penny, picks her back up, slams it back on, and we've got both blockers coming out of the penalty box, just checking where is safe to enter. Pink Mist out of the pack now, had to get released with out of play at the front.
Sorry, Energy. One of the things I've been noticing about teams this weekend is a real focus on strong defense. Not so much offense, but a focus on strong defense, locking down that opposition jammer first, and then working out how to score points from there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's been some very quick leads that, to be fair, has been a lot of the jammers working for the lead themselves, not getting a whole heap of, oh, you're absolutely right. It's interesting. I would love to see more O.
Look, you know what? As a blocker, I like to see more O2. As much as I love hanging on to the opposition jammer, I also like my jammer to have some success.
Yeah.
So I'm personally not a fan of different skaters have different approaches, and that's all okay.
It kind of seems where Australian roller derby is at the moment is they're on the defense. They're locking it down. They're keeping it slow. Not a whole heap of O going on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this develops across the year, especially as some of the more regional tournaments and playoffs start to take place. And certainly I think heading into World Cup later this year and then World Champs, I feel like we get a lot of evolution of the sport out of those 2 events when they happen. All right, folks, so we have joining this jam in action, Gerald is jamming for Canberra. Lead jammer for this one, giving Canberra control of the jam.
That's Gerald's out there at the moment. For Canberra, up against...
Peanut Butter Jammer for Inner West.
We've got a clear penalty box.
So again, Canberra kind of getting... They were trying to stop Peanut Butter Jammer at the front of the pack, but in the process, breached the opposition pack backwards, really. So they were... By bridging out and trying to contain Peanut Butter Jammer, they were actually making life a little bit more difficult for their jammer at the back.
But also at the same time, they're 14 points up, unanswered. So whatever they're doing seems to be working all right.
Good point. They've managed to keep a lid on any points flow at all for Inner West. Shortstop taking the line, wearing the star for Canberra in this one.
Trying to follow the offense, a bit of an option through. Inner West shut it down.
Velvet Whiplash looking for that space on the outside line that has worked for her so many times in the past. Shortstop out with lead and control of this jam. It's been like one scoring pass and done so far in this game, Energy.
Absolutely. 2 points for that pass. cheeky little pimps. Hit it and quit it. I think Canberra's going to see how long they can keep it at a stronghold.
Well, I think that defence as well that we've been talking about is what's generating this hit and quit. I think with some of the tighter games like this one with Canberra and Inner West, possibly SRDL and Brisbane as well, we're not going to see multiple scoring passes except outside of power jams, and even then we might not see them. What have we got? Backdoor Barbie wearing the star here for Inner West. And Lemmy Adam for 50 chance. What do we think, folks? It's a jammer. Was it a forearms or a cut? Either way, we're probably right.
Yeah, it was a thing.
So this delivers a power jam to Inner West here. Opportunity to put some points on the board.
Oh, they missed the opportunity to get a bunny in there. 4 points up, and they've called it early to give themselves a strategic power jam start. The advantage with doing a power jam start in this instance is you've got a fresh jammer who may have practiced this play in particular.
Absolutely, and Inner West do really need to get some points on the board, so you want to try and maximise those opportunities.
Yeah.
Putting a fresh jammer out with fresh legs can make all the difference.
Canberra's now out of the bin. Their jam is coming around.
Lemmy Adam back on the track. Lead is still open. Lemmy approaching on scoring. Big, tough Canberra wall at the back there. Impenetrable seam.
On the outside, but they don't have their hat. But they did pick up the 3 points before their hat fell off.
So their hat is still, looks like it's hanging around here on the apex of turns 1 and 2. Saw a moment yesterday where a skater, might have been a BCR skater, I think, lost their helmet cover. Inner West camped over it though. They made it very difficult for that skater to retrieve it, which I thought was interesting.
Look, it's one of those things that I like doing it because I like playing with them. But is it a little bit unsportsmanly, perhaps?
Maybe.
I think
is it within the
depends.
rules? That's the question.
I think if you're doing it while cracking some good jokes, I think that's fine.
Oh yeah, good point. All right, peanut butter jammer wearing mist, working on that front Inner West wall.
Oh.
Nice little bit of work from peanut butter jammer there.
Has the tides changed?
PBJ managing to get lead on the outside of turn 2. Hit that Canberra wall and took what points they could. So 2 more points on the board for Inner West, taking them 9 points to Canberra's 20. The intense defence that we've been talking about is really playing out on the scoreboard as well.
We've got Tuffy coming on their first.
We've got Tough Luck jamming for Inner West. We've got a forearm for Canberra going off. Barbie takes the outside safely and then Bundy's up the inside line, picking up lead for Inner West.
Checking first that she hadn't actually done a cut track. Clearly wasn't entirely sure whether she'd...
She's got a forearms too. And just was kind of waiting, taking time, which I think distracted the wall, to be honest, because she just ran around the inside line.
Yeah, look, it can help. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of backwards and forth conversation between skaters and officials about whether a penalty should or should not be called during a game.
Yeah.
Definitely a subject for an official review or feedback to an official at half-time or full-time of the game, but yeah, perhaps not the best tactic mid-jam. All right, shortstop wearing the star for Canberra. Velvet Whiplash jamming for Inner West.
Shortstop loves taking the other team's offense if it's too sloppy. Can't follow Velvet through on this pass though. Velvet looking for another option.
Shortstop, lead jammer on the outside of turn 1, using that little bit of skating footwork to keep herself stable. Now approaching on scoring.
That was a real quick cut call. It looked like they'd stepped out and tried to reset, and actually the call stood from the one before.
So Velvet Whiplash from Inner West, no longer on the track to score points for Inner West. Power jam to Canberra. Probably a less than ideal situation for Inner West here. Power jam with shortstop on the track.
What do you mean?
I mean, Canberra has a very, very strong complement of jammers. It's not just Shorty, but Shorty is probably the most experienced, shall we say.
Yes. They are what I like to call a derby dino, much like ourselves.
Indeed, indeed. Velvet Whiplash returns to the track. Smart decision here. Velvet is no longer wearing their helmet cover. What do you think's going on there, Energy?
A little stash in the hand. They're keeping it visible so the referees can see it, but also they're like, what? I'm just a blocker. Just let me through. I'm not doing nothing.
Nice,
And they've slammed it on. Not quite enough time to get round to the pack, but they stormed it round just in case.
Definitely booked it, putting on acceleration to try and get some points before the jam was called off. No dice on this occasion, unfortunately.
We got Lemmy Adam on the jammer line for Canberra.
And that looks like Jinx for Inner West. Somewhat frustratingly, the back of Jinx's uniform is folded up. At least I know that 9 equals Jinx.
9, it does equal Jinx. That's true. Canberra's 3 walls, if they get established, jammers are trying to go for that seam. They are not letting go on the seam. Give up on the seam. It's not the place.
So, and also, like Ash Bandicoot running offense at the top of that Canberra pack there to try and help Jinx out. That's, Ash is probably one of the best offensive skaters in the state.
Absolutely. Well, look at them legs.
Well, exactly. I see, unfortunately, it looks like Jinx is sitting in the penalty box.
Forearms.
Energy. Forearms. Forearms for a jammer?
Yeah.
I've never heard of such a thing. So this delivers another power jam, probably second power jam in a row, really, for Canberra.
Ruby Doom really has to reel it in. I think this is the second or third penalty already, and we're quite early in. I do love skating with Ruby Doom, though. What a phenomenal skater.
Always good fun, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Jinx now completing that initial. Coming back on scoring pass now. Lemmy, unfortunately, lead jammer calls it off before Jinx can approach the pack.
We've noticed over this weekend so far that there are some parts of the track that have a little bit more slick than grip.
Yeah, I think one of the things I've noticed about skating and a lot of the intense playing of basketball happens, the floor can be a little bit different in those areas. Oh, nearly on the outside there by PB&J. Some excellent work trying to get around that Canberra wall. Meanwhile, on the front, working on that Inner West wall is Pink Mist.
Pack's starting to reform after being quite spread out.
Pack speed starting to change a little bit here. Inner West trying to keep Pack at the back so that they can get some points.
Vicious Delicious with a beautiful hit out on the inside line.
Both jammers now stuck in those walls, probably in a situation here where they're probably point for point. Might be worth considering another scoring pass after this if Jinx can get through first.
It's interesting, Canberra...
Absolutely. Sorry, I must correct myself. That's PB&J out there jamming for Inner West. But that strong defense absolutely shutting down any additional scoring opportunities for both teams here.
Yeah. Pink Mist with a little hop and a skip over the legs of Inner West skaters, picking up 4 points. They've got about 40 seconds, I think.
Managing to keep it 4-4. A lot of effort, I will say, for essentially 0 points. All right. We have Backdoor Barbie out jamming for Inner West.
And Geralt for Canberra. Canberra's chosen the front wall with a...
They've got that upstream dangle.
Yeah. What's your feels about the upstream dangle?
Look, I tell you what, when a little while ago now, shall we say, when I first started talking to... And we're talking about how it works and talking about what you would use it for. I'm a fan, I have to be honest.
In a front wall?
Maybe to start in a front wall, absolutely, but you should be finding yourself another job fairly quickly.
Yes.
Because I think if you're front, you're quite happy. Your 3 wall should be able to sit on and staunch the activities of the opposing wall. and then you've actually got someone left over for offense if you need to, or they can plug gaps if someone does get through.
In the gameplay that you've seen so far,
I'm not
off the start,
I'm not convinced that they do, but clearly that's what they're practicing.
I think their 3 walls are looking too good.
Nice little bit of footwork there by Velvet Whiplash on the entrance to turn 1. On the outside line, skips through, quick lead for Inner West.
Yeah.
They really need to put some points on here. Beautiful offense, clearing that inside line for Velvet. 4 big roller derby points on the board for Inner West.
That was nice. That was textbook. People write sonnets about that.
Beautiful timing there. You can see that there was communications between the pack and the jammer. Just ideal. Beautiful stuff. All right. Lemmy Adam jamming for Canberra in this one. Jinx taking the line for Inner West.
Or we need some fresh elastic. Maybe that's the problem.
Possibly some fresh elastic, although I sometimes down over the front of the visor. I think
Yes.
just there's like a little grippy bit.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I don't wear a helmet with a visor myself, but it seems like what's happening.
Surely you'd be hit in the face often, being that you're so gravity challenged.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I have been hit in the face by another skater before, but usually it's one of my teammates who is also over 6 foot tall. So
I have to say, in recent derby, I do not get hit all that often
it's too quick
in the
for
face. Oh yeah, that's it. No, it's my skills. Yeah, no,
That's right.
It's not that people are feeling more controlled. It can't be that.
Ash Bandicoot sent to the penalty box, serving 2 penalties. I didn't catch what they both were, but this is a difficult situation for Inner West. Jammer, yes.
Inactive jammer.
Yes, correct.
And I believe it must have been a pass penalty.
Yes, I think you might be right.
And
Star
then
pass
did
not
an extra
completed.
lap, and that's the second. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. So yeah, that would make sense why Ash is serving 2 penalties. Is Claire?
Yes, Claire's on the an OPR.
Oh, okay. Well, it can't have been Claire then. She likes to call pack penalties from the inside usually. I think it's a real indication of the strength of officials we have in our region and pretty much across the Eastern Sea.
Yeah.
Occupying a position, and Claire and Denominator in the outside means that these skaters are under serious review all the time.
Yeah, which is brilliant. That's the way you want to train. You want to train
Absolutely.
with the best of the best.
All right, PB&J jamming for Inner West on this one. That looks like a pink mist for Canberra as well. Oh,
That was tasty. Lead done. Yes.
Denominator nodding to indicate that pass on the outside line was clean. PB&J now lead jammer. I feel like Inner West might be working something out here, and it's about movement. Yeah, good move, PB&J. I feel like the Inner West might have established if they can keep the Canberra wall moving, that their jammer will succeed eventually. It's as soon as they lock down, which is exactly what happened there. Those 2 Canberra blockers stopped right in front of PB&J, and PB&J was like, nope, that's it.
The physicality of the Canberra team is if they can control the speed, you're going to struggle.
On the line for Canberra.
The second,
sorry, my apologies. Backdoor Barbie, control of this jam for Inner West.
Barbie not taking a really obvious O on the outside there. Unfortunate.
There was a bit of space.
Yep.
But getting stuck in a situation can be just stuck.
Yep, absolutely. We were noticing in the Brisbane game that the jammers were faking to the lines and taking the insides.
Nice.
And then we went, well, can we do the same as opposed to faking for the in and trying to take the out, because they just keep sweeping you out, babes.
Yes, exactly.
Let's stay safe in the middle.
Really big, tough start there from both teams. Strong walls, making it very difficult for Velvet to get out for Inner West. Shorty out first for Canberra. Is lead jammer really stuck on a Inner West wall on the outside of turn 1. Yeah, sharp work there. Shorty getting stuck on that inner west wall on the outside.
And then getting stuck on the inside as well. I mean, trying to fight for that apex when Pansy Slamsy is also on the inside line, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I would try.
I mean, in some respects I would, because I love skating with Pansy.
I love
but at the same
Pansy.
time, no. All right, little official timeout here. It looks like we have a little bit of track repair. Thank you, Redact. You put new bits of tape on the floor.
Absolutely.
Dr. Redacted, the tape guy.
Do we call him the doctor now?
Oh no, I
Can
actually
we do that?
I think he might have changed his skater name or his one or the other. He's just added doctor to the front. Dr. Redacted.
That's amazing.
All right, that looks like a bullseye there. Whistling the end of the official timeout. Calling 5 seconds for the start of this jam. Jinx wearing the star for Inner West.
Trying to follow Ash Bandicoot through, but makes their own way up the inside line, picking up lead for Inner West.
Lemmy Adam, about a quarter of a track behind, wearing the star for Canberra. Yeah, it's going to be, this game's going to stay tight. Like it's currently 32 for Inner West to Canberra 72. I feel like Inner West have done a great job in the second
Quarter.
Thank you, quarter.
Yeah, I had
Second
the same problem
quarter.
yesterday with math. I'm like,
Second quarter of this period, they've made some adjustments to their games. They're trying to keep the Canberra packs moving. Blue Riot jamming for Inner West. Maybe Pansy. Oh, it's Pink Mist. I should have gone with my instincts. All right, unfortunately, Inner West jammer Lou has cut the track and has been sent to the penalty box. 30 seconds to think about their life choices.
which is really cheeky because the Canberra skater, they entered back on together and then went, nope, off the other side. Nope. Off you go.
Bruh.
Oh, someone's got a forearm penalty.
Yeah, denominator's assessing someone for a forearms. Must have been that Canberra blocker who is joining the penalty box right now. Lou writes.
A solid 3-wall from Canberra at the back.
Lou is a third their penalty. You don't score a penalty. Sorry, my apologies, folks.
There is some chaos in this pack.
Yeah, so we've hit a bit of a revolving door here for Inner West. All of a sudden, they're cycling skaters through the penalty box. Pansy has been returned to track. We'll have to report as soon as either Rainbow Smash or Pussy Galore stand. Pansy will be able to report to serve them.
Pansy's going to report now. Pink Mist just cruising on through.
All right. So both of the Inner West blockers were released. We have an official review. Energy, do you want to go and see what's happening?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do.
All right. Energy is going to go and have a lurk, shall we say? Just going to go and lurk with the officials as we look for an official review here. So for those of you who don't know, official review is a little bit like a... it's not quite a replay, mainly because we don't have replay, but it's a bit like, that third umpire kind of vibe, in that it is an opportunity to have a decision reviewed. So at the end of a jam, the captain or the alternate for either team can signal that they wish to have an official review, and that will be because they want to discuss and oppose one of the officiating decisions made by the officials crew. Quite often, you would use them to get your jammer out of the penalty box or put the opposing jammer in the penalty box and impact jammer presence. If there was a particularly effective blocker that I wanted off the track for a jam or so, I would maybe call an official review to try and have an opposition blocker. Or, honestly, most of the time I use official reviews as a timeout. I personally feel that they are a more effective time management tool than they are penalty review tool. The majority. As a result, I think that they're more effective as a time management tool so that you can have more clock stoppages available to you at the end of a game. So during the official review, what will have happened when the captains and the alternates were called to the middle of the track, the team calling the official review would have been asked to state the nature of their review and their desired outcome. Now, what they're asking you for there, as the captain or the alternate who's explaining the reason for the official review, they want you to be able to describe the same steps that a referee uses when assessing a penalty. So, end of the penalty, so that you know that you have seen how it started, what happened, and then the ongoing impact from it. At the start of an official review, essentially that's what you're being asked to explain, is what was the beginning, the middle, and the end, and then what is your desired outcome. And your desired outcome to know how to explain the penalty, green 616 in the penalty box, they did something bad. You really do need to be able to explain what's going on. And the best way to learn that, if you want to be a coach, is to be an official, because then you have to do it yourself, you understand it, you learn the language. For Canberra, PB&J wearing the Jammer star for Inner West. Energy, tell us more about that official review.
All right, so what it was is Inner West were questioning the Jammer, how they went down and actually crawled towards the Inner West wall in an unblockable position, which created that other people had to move out of the way and recreate their position because of the safety element of it. Ultimately, the officials had a chat and felt that there was no impact either way. It was a second of your life. You won't get it back. It doesn't really matter that much.
Very intelligent official review, though, from Mr. Bump, the kind of thing we would expect. I know many years ago when I met Bump for the first time, it was when we were around at his now wife's house, Warragamba Damsel, watching Woofter Champs. Bump came down, had never seen roller derby before, and within about an hour had assessed and described all of the strategies that the teams were using, where they could maybe improve, and where penalties were coming from.
Yeah.
Bump has an incredible sporting brain and an incredible brain for derby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shortstop out here with lead jammer Velvet.
All right, so it was 0 points in the West, but they both hit very hard and fast. 3 points.
So tight work, jam for jam here by both teams. That early lead that Canberra was able to build is serving them well as we get towards the end. I feel like they're using the old Inner West logo on the scoreboard here, Energy.
Oh, yeah.
Like the old one.
The old one.
Or around that Canberra wall on the outside.
That was like tap dancing. That was Susie Toot level tap dancing.
It really was. Look at that. Nice patience from Canberra, sitting at the back. They wanted to meet the opposition jammer and catch them there. Big thing that I know Jackie Daniels likes to talk about is roller derby happens where the jammer is, and that's where you meet.
Yes, love it. Jackie Daniels. Oh,
I know.
That's a skater I haven't heard referenced in a while.
Had a stadium in Adelaide.
Oh, last time I did one was a very long time ago in Sydney.
That would have been the one at Five Dock, I reckon.
Yes.
At the Leisure Centre.
Yes, it would have been. It would have been.
As to try and get Lou through that wall. Pink Mist jamming for Canberra has managed to break up that Inner West wall and is now out with lead jammer. Control of this jam going to Canberra. Looks like there's a little bit of a pack advantage. I think I can see two blockers for Inner West over in the penalty box. Slightly difficult to see with Nasty Surprise and Mercy standing between my line of sight and the penalty box, but that's okay. I wouldn't want see-through officials. I don't know about you, Energy.
No.
I don't need to see through them.
No, not at all. I enjoy seeing them. It'll be interesting to see. It's got a whoop whoop.
Yep, it'll help. That's for sure. And definitely a situation that Canberra really needs to work their way back to. They did some incredible work before the pandemic to really bring Canberra's international standing up. And unfortunately, they had to hit a bit of a reset button almost straight away after that.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We have tough luck jamming for Canberra. Looks like PB&J wearing the star for Inner West. And once again, strong walls, no offense, really relying on the jammer's strength and ability to push or move a wall.
tough luck getting some lovely offense from the front.
Yeah, really nice work there.
Pansy Slamby's trying to bring up the pack a little bit.
Jay, unfortunately, a little fall to the outside there.
Ruby doing with another penalty. I'm going to do a penalty check at halftime.
Yeah, good idea. We're like halfway through this jam, and I believe that there is still no lead jammer awarded. Goes back to what we're saying, Energy, about the defensive nature of this tournament so far.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
With only 50 seconds left in this jam, clearly all that work has taken a lot out of them. Quick little hop across the inside of turn 2 to try and get some points.
Oh, 0-0.
Tough luck approaching and causing the call off there. PB&J left no opportunity other than to call it off.
Ooh.
And I believe with that rolling whistle from Bullseye, that is the end of the period.
Miss.
Energy, do you want to go and have a little...
Dandy notebook.
Excellent. See you in a minute. We'll have a little bit of chat about that before the next period starts.
Amazing.
Thanks, Energy. Thanks, folks. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, sports fans. We're getting ready for the second period of Canberra versus Inner West, game 1 on day 2 of the excellent Get Sanctioned Extravaganza. Energy, welcome back.
Oh, thanks, bud. Oh, penalties. I took notes.
Yes,
I
what
wrote
happened?
stuff down. Okay, so Inner West have 1 on 4, and they have 4 on 2. They've got 27, who is... That's not a number. Yes, it is.
It is if you look at the right roster.
Oh, yes, that's helpful. All right, so Slamsy's on 4, and CRDL have 2 on 3. So we got Ruby and... These are fairly low, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think it seems like there's been a spread of penalties as opposed to some concentrations.
You could all the letters of the alphabet.
Ah, yes, of
there
course.
was not a consistent okay, well, multis and forearms. Okay, we know what we're looking at. It was everything.
Bit of everything. Nice.
It was a tasting palette of penalties.
Ah, love it. Love a good degustation. I'm a big fan of not having them.
I'm in.
All right, folks, we have shortstop wearing the start for Canberra. Velvet Whiplash taking the line for Inner West.
Stay in and up the inside line. Lead to Inner West.
Leads
Velvet.
to Inner West. Nice little bit of footwork up the inside line. I felt like maybe a Canberra blocker thought they'd hit Velvet out and gave up as a result. Something we know very well, Energy. You do not assume that you hit a skater out.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's a couple of skaters, particularly Barbie's just lining up now. Barbie is you gotta have 2 hits. At least 2 hits.
Quite frankly, I want to know that Barbie is on the ground, and I don't mean that in a nasty way, but I want to know that Barbie is down before I'm sure that she's definitely not skating.
Absolutely. Or sitting with the crowd. Either one. I'll take either.
Yeah. Big, lots of traffic off the start here.
Yes.
Both teams, Inner West looking for the back. Canberra trying to cap that and keep control of.
Yeah. It was looking like the M1 on Easter
It really
Friday.
was, yeah, absolutely. Backdoor Barbie in front but not lead. Lemmy Adam had lead for that one and called it off before any points could be scored.
2 0-0 jams to start with. Ooh, this is going to get good. All right, Canberra demanding that back line.
It's interesting, they're setting up, early on in the lineup period, a little looser, like they kind of know they're trying to bait. It looks like they're trying to bait Inner West down one side off the start.
I have to say, the lateral movement of the 3 walls is so tasty.
It's spectacular.
Again, with the 4 walls sticking together and let the jammer fight their way themselves.
Big sweep coming in here from Inner West. And it succeeds. PB&J completing their initial pass and now approaching on scoring.
3 points for Canberra in that jam.
Yeah, I feel like Inner West have had a conversation about how successful their defence had been during period 1, especially that last quarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've made a decision to focus on that. It looks like.
Oh, we're doing some jammer matching.
Yes. In Manchester and VRDL improved and made available such great data for you as a lineup manager or front bench. It's great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shortstop out with lead for Canberra, trying to get through that Inner West wall. Panty has another idea about that though.
Power jam, here we go. Shorty getting a forearms penalty around Slamsy Pansy around the outside. They're off to the penalty box. Now we got a power jam for Inner West. Velvet picking up 4 points for that pass.
Lead lost with real good opportunity for Inner West to really put some points on the board here.
Yeah. Here we go. We got a sweep coming in for Inner West. 2 offense in that 3 wall. Now they're playing pack smart, spreading them out.
Smart work. Shortstop now standing, ready to re-enter the track. Still wearing the star. Is on a scoring pass, I think, if my memory serves. Just Try and find the jam ref responsible. Yes, sneaky points being held by the jam ref for shortstop.
That does damage, doing some beautiful 101 out the front.
More points on the board for Canberra. Great stuff there. Behind on this jam, though. No lead, so probably another couple of passes at least with about 30 seconds to go. Shorty ducking under Pansy to make it past. So long and the short of it, absolutely. Score back up. This might all end up being close to an 0-0 jam, even though there's points on the board.
Inner West forward did really well to hold them at peace there. We're like, no, you're staying here. Just stay here, Shorty. Don't go in. No, stay right here.
Great stuff by Inner West there, maximising the opportunity of that power jam, coming out, points positive off that one. Canberra now 119 points to Inner West's 51.
They were really using the line as their fifth blocker.
Yes, exactly. All right, that looks like Jinx wearing the star for Inner West.
Up against Pink Mist from Canberra.
All right, strong defense. Inner West are moving out of flat forward.
Mind you,
Goodness me, I have watched way too much of this sport.
No, watch more of it. What I love watching is, like, we've gone from flat walls to 3 walls to 4 walls to diamonds to squares, and now it's starting to become a bit of a 2-2 situation internationally, which I love.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I've always, well, not always, but I hope you have a strong 2-wall, you have a strong everything else. I think that's possibly where we're heading with a little bit more 2-wall stuff.
Mind you, I love a flat 4-wall unopposed with a jammer coming up going, I am. There's certain teams and even individual skaters that you watch that you identify with the gameplay.
Absolutely.
And you kind of go, I would do, and then they do it, and you're like, we could be friends.
All right, bit of a change for both walls here, starting a little bit further up the front. Lou Riot wearing the star for Inner West, and that is tough luck, jamming.
Getting tapping the jammer out on the outside. Meanwhile, Lou Riot's getting tapped to the inside. Yeah,
both jammers off the track there for a minute. Feels like it's going to be another jam, and as I open my mouth to say that, Lou Riot quickly skips past the Canberra wall on the outside, lead to Inner West and control of this jam.
Solid walls just holding the jammers at bay. The pack's starting to get stretched out.
So that looked like a star pass completed there for Canberra to the pivot.
259. 2-5. Inner West seems unaware.
Yeah, completely lost focus on the who was wearing the jammer star there. Very focused on helping their jammer through, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But they are now kind of in this risky situation where they're being scored on against lead, so the Canberra starting to shank them on this jam.
Inner West weren't coming together on those last 2 passes. They were just too far apart from each other.
Yeah, I think the decision that Inner West probably has to make now is, can Lou Riot make up the points deficit on this jam, or is it just better to call?
For those points at the back, they've picked up at least 3.
Close down there. Vicious was with Lou helping on offense. A bit of a change, but it might have worked in Inner West's favour on this occasion. Unfortunately not.
No.
So still, the scoreline is still good. 131 to Canberra, 62 for Inner West. And that was a points positive jam for Canberra against lead.
They're getting the officials in. Here we go. A little bit of drama.
Boom Tish, one of the jam referees, has called the head ref over, and the rest of the jams to consult. Honey Badger, I believe, is our head ref for this game today. So they probably should all be getting together to discuss what they're going to give J-Ref, who's buying the first round for J-Ref at the pub afterwards.
What flavour do you think the birthday cake? We saw a birthday cake earlier.
Oh, yes, good point. Did you see any colour?
I didn't. Oh, it was white with blue fondant.
Excellent. I need cake now. Lemmy Adam jamming for Canberra.
Oh, both jammers
And
out of the pack.
PB&J jamming for Inner West.
Oh,
Oh, power jam to Canberra immediately. PB&J unfortunately incurring a cut track penalty.
that was a beautiful team all-in squeeze from Canberra. They're waiting for the timing to get right. The jam is picking aside.
Beautiful
Inner
stuff here
West
by
read it
Canberra,
better.
splitting up that Inner West defence.
A tap to the inside. Raph bringing it back, gaining a bit more space.
Some really excellent work here by Inner West, completely killing off the opportunity that Canberra had during that power jam. PB&J back on the track, completes initial.
Slams their way through the three wall and just went, take me, and just threw their body in.
Yeah. And smart work there by Lemmy, deciding to call the jam, taking what points they could for Canberra.
Yep.
4 more points on the board. But Inner West made that very, very difficult. They were a hard 1-4 points.
Absolutely.
For Canberra. Both Inner West wanting that back line, did not want to give shortstop any space whatsoever.
No.
Smart, I would say.
Dev does damage with a little bit of O. Team O up the inside line, getting Velvet free. Shorty's out with lead firing around the track.
Velvet only a quarter track behind those. This is going to be yet another quick jam. Canberra come out points positive, and that's all that matters. Sure, it was 1 point to nil, but it doesn't, points positive. That's what you want out of each jam.
All right, everybody's on the track doing the derby thing. Barbie tapping out, but coming back in cleanly up against that Canberra three wall that's holding strong.
Pink Mist with a little bit of offense from Brazen Ivy there. Getting Pink Mist a little bit further forward. Now stuck on that terrifying three wall, that terrifying Inner West three wall. I'm a bit scared of it just from here.
Canberra three wall really holding Barbie at bay at the back. Barbie loves the line, hates the middle. Hates the middle, is trying to keeping the Inner West wall moving forward, spreading them out, forcing them to bridge. Barbie's back in fighting, gets maybe two.
Might have picked up, no.
Nay. Birthday boy, J.
Birthday boy saying, nuh-uh. It appears that Gerald and I share a behaviour on track, which is to just slap yourself silly to make sure you're still awake.
I use coffee, but each to their own.
Can't take coffee on the track, Jess. Yeah, see, that got you, didn't it? They'll come and tell me when I... Oh, no. Cut track penalty on Gerald. Off to the penalty box, 30 seconds to think about their life choices. And that was before lead had been granted. So Inner West, power jam with lead. Jinx, the jammer of record, getting ready to score some big roller derby points for Inner West.
Bodies hitting the floor, pack spreading out.
Jinx making a smart decision there, taking what points they could and calling off the jam for a power start.
I think they got a little bit of joy out of Shorty being like, all right, I guess I'll wait. So they've got power jam, but they also have a pack
advantage. So power jam, they've got at least 10 seconds of power jam, probably a bit less. Girl already standing in the penalty box. We can see that means they have less than 10 seconds to serve on their penalty. Waiting for the instruction from Even Steven, the penalty box manager, and Grohl is returned to track. Did Lou get lead in the interim, Energy?
No, unfortunately not. We
So-
got Inner West 3-wall at the back, catching Gerald on the back, but they're charging up the inside line. Looks clean, picks up lead from the penalty box. You don't see that every day, but when
No.
you do, yep.
Beautiful, beautiful work by Canberra there and Geralt to take advantage of the situation. Lead jammer goes to Canberra. Control of this jam is for Canberra. Another beautiful scoring pass from Geralt. So we're halfway through this second period here.
Ooh, it got a little bit sloppy. Lots of bodies hitting the floor
Yeah,
there. A low
indeed.
block penalty to Ash Bandicoot.
No mean feat when you ask.
I can't.
Well, it's the long and the short of it here on commentary as well. So,
Yeah.
you know.
No, that's true. That's true.
All right, Shorty wearing the star for Canberra. Velvet Whiplash for Inner West.
Inside line looked very open for Shorty to take, and they saw it and they took it.
Yeah, absolutely. Inner West were pinned to the jammer line there by a nice bit of passive offense from the Canberra skater whose number I've now forgotten. Legally, not through her legs, underneath her.
Mind you, Canberra had to be a bit careful when they were sucking back there on Inner West. There was some contact going backwards.
There was a little, although I noticed that Inner West again seemed to pause at the line. You know, I was talking a bit about this yesterday, and I know you have a similar idea, Energy, where you want to try and have that suck back off the start, time it so that you're hitting the line as the whistle goes, and then you keep going. You don't just wait at the line.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to go meet the jammer and kill that speed if there is any.
Exactly. The whole point of the suckback is to take space away from the jammer. So you don't leave them any if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice work by Lemmy Adam there. Lead jammer being awarded to Canberra. Looks like it was a bit of a hard time, taking some big deep breaths on the way around turns 3 and 4. Coasting in now, dealing with that Inner West front wall, Inner West 3-wall at the front.
Canberra jammers before.
Absolutely stands to reason that they. You know, Energy, I was at a tournament a couple of weeks ago, as I just want to note the successful star pass from Inner West here. Ash Bandicoot, now the jammer. I was at a tournament about a month ago now down in Melbourne, the East Coast Clash. Thank you very much, Bendigo, for putting on such a fabulous event.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the way that the first aid worked with the tournament head NSO and tournament head referee to make sure that we were appropriately managing the incredibly hot and humid conditions inside the venue, to the extent where the games were actually broken up into quarters with a 5-minute break between the first and the second quarter, usual 15-minute break at the half, and then another 5-minute break in between the third and the fourth quarter. Just amazing care for skaters. They're an organisation that but yeah, look, really, really great care, and something that I hope to see in other tournaments around Australia.
Oh, that's amazing. It's a problem that it's not necessarily particularly Australia as a whole. There's other places that would be a struggle, but all of Australia can have that problem.
Absolutely, yes. All right, a lot of action here on the track. Plenty of penalties keeping everyone occupied. Successful star pass for Canberra. Brazen Ivy now wearing the star. Backdoor Barbie, Inner West jammer, approaching quickly.
They're getting told to train. They're going to run this jam long as the pivot, as the jam.
You can make a decision with a pivot jammer to leave them out there, let them work. We know that chances are they haven't trained as a jammer as much.
Yep.
And it's possible that you'll have more success and be able to hold them than you would an actual jammer.
Yeah.
Of course, there's some pivot jammers who I wouldn't allow that to happen with.
Yep.
You would be one of them, Energy. Surround pound is another.
Yes.
Any other pivots who you wouldn't let run it?
Do the star passes, usually their pivots are the ones you've got to worry about.
Yes.
If the jammers aren't used to passing, that's fine. I'll let them run all day long, no worries.
Yeah.
But alternatively...
Yeah, I want them stuck in the wall, but not wearing a star.
Yes, absolutely.
Canberra carrying a bit of a pack advantage into this one. It has not worked in their favour, though. Velvet Whiplash is lead jammer with short stop. Yes, jammer action. Really, really effective work as a jammer there by Velvet. Waiting for the very last second to pull off that jam, facilitating the release of Rainbow Smash from the penalty box. Inner West will return a full forced pack into the start of this jam. Not much, you're quite right.
It's
This
so
is
tasty.
What's that, sorry?
It's so tasty.
I
love
know.
it.
Well, and I really feel for Boxy Lady if she happens to be out of bed at this hour in Western Australia. Watching this stream, I know how much Boxy loves Jammer on Jammer
Loves
action.
it.
In fact, I can hear her screaming it in my head right now. All right, team timeout here for Inner West. We're in less than 10 minutes to go in the game, so
This one's gone real quick. This
It
half
has.
is gone.
does have one.
Yep.
And it's early in the day, so the track is still stuck down. So good opportunity of a game. I know for me, if we're not going to win on points, then it's an opportunity to try and win some skills or win some tactics or try things out that we wouldn't normally. So it's still an opportunity to have success, but how you measure that success can change.
In the words of RuPaul's Drag Race, losing is the new winning.
Ah, I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Inner West tried to set a little bit of offense for Jinx off that start. Didn't quite work, however. Ultimately, though, Jinx out with lead jammer for Inner West. Tough luck, still working away, trying to get through on their initial gathering blow.
Just finishing the blow. It was yummy.
That's hilarious for many reasons.
Loves it.
Great stuff by Jinx here, putting on
Yeah.
some scores, putting on some points. Canberra have completed a star pass successfully. Make you squeal. Back on yet, but that's okay because I think they're still on initial.
This Inner West 3-wall is causing so many issues for now the pivot as well.
Yeah,
The
they're
jammer
making
went,
life
I've had
very
enough.
difficult.
Your turn.
People they've put out.
Oh, and a power jam too.
Oh, power jam. Okay, power jam here in Inner West's favour. It is the pivot jammer who is sitting for Canberra. They sat with about 42 seconds to go in the jam node. Now, very, very smart work from Inner West here. They've left the pivot jammer in the penalty box.
Shorty's coming on as the pivot.
Yeah, excellent. So they're putting out probably one of their best jammers as the pivot so that Make You Squeal can pass early. Back on with the fourth murderer, Pussy Galore.
Pussy's one of those skaters.
Debbie's Puss, one of the 20 names that we know her by. Puss has been playing roller derby for a very long time and I think has actually flown under the radar for all of the years that she's been playing.
Yes.
She's an incredibly effective blocker, great on offense, will absolutely... You're about to say something, I can
Yeah,
tell.
I was going to say pack destruction, but they were just within 20 foot because I didn't realise the blocker stuck in the free wall as the bunny.
More points on the board, unfortunately, but calling it off so that...
Strategically, they shouldn't have called it off
Yeah,
because the jammer was already out of the box.
yeah.
So if you're going to do it earlier.
Ice
don't
them
do it
again.
later. Yeah,
Ice
yeah,
them
yeah.
again. Absolutely. Even if you're only icing them inside the 10 seconds.
Or just keep going.
Yeah, I mean, look, you knew you were having success against that pivot jammer before. Sure, there's a risk they might have passed off to a highly capable pivot.
Yeah.
Banking up the lead, jammer status is here. PB&J out with lead for Inner West. Lemmy Adam is jamming for Canberra, but the Inner West defence is making life very, very hard for them.
All right, so PB&J's picked up all the points.
Inner West has done an excellent job of stemming, putting a real stop to Canberra's scoring here. Canberra now just holding at 166. They haven't really put many points on the board recently. Inner West rapidly approaching, currently 96, less than 5 or 6 minutes to go in the and now they have succeeded in slowing down Canberra's scoring rate.
PB&J.
That's 100 points for Inner West. Playing 174 to Canberra. All right, backdoor Barbie wearing the star for Inner West. Geralt, star for Canberra. Yeah, both teams starting in the middle, really wanting that back line. Off, they aren't quite. They're either choosing to stop at the jam line or they're just not quite making it in time. One or the other, I'm not sure at the moment. Geralt, lead jammer for Inner West. Backdoor Barbie using those fast feet and looking for uniform whips off right.
None of them must have done a thing, otherwise there would have been a whistle.
Here's the thing though, Energy. Every person has two of them. So it looks really messy when 8 people start waving them around.
Yes, they're pretty much playing patty cake on the track.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, we got an official review. I'm going to
yes, please.
mosey over.
Oh no, a little bit of a crash between some Canberra skaters here. Strategically, this is smart from Mr. Bump. I think it's Inner West that's called it. But, you know, less than 5 minutes to go in the period. You've got the official review there. You may as well use it. Perhaps you'll have success like I was talking about earlier. The success, it is actually a bit of an opportunity to try it. Try it on. Maybe you'll win one. But at the very least, you'll provide some extra rest, a little bit of extra time for your skaters to recover and get through this last period of the game. I've just noticed, I knew that Pi was here this weekend, but I now see that Pi is doing live stats for Inner West, something that we mentioned earlier. And mostly what it helps with is that you're tracking, when you're running live stats, you're essentially tracking jammer success and blocker pack success, and trying to match that success so that you know which blocker pack is having the most success. And then that allows you to send out the right pack and jammer combination, or hopefully the right pack and jammer combination each time. I know for me, as working front bench, I find having live stats and a lineup manager to be very freeing, and it means that I no longer have to think about it. I can think about strategy, think about decision making on the track, and know that everything else is being taken care of for me. Of course, you know, it's not unusual that I might have some strategic suggestions or changes that we might to make, but ultimately I rely on back.
Hello. All right, so it was actually for Inner West called it. They wanted to get an illegal contact on the jammer. They claimed that the jammer had their foot over the line, off the track, out of bounds, and was still engaging in contact to stop the Inner West skaters being able to move to...
We didn't see it.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, either it didn't happen or they couldn't see it, one or the other. So.
One or the other.
All right, Velvet Whiplash lighting up to jam for Inner West. Short stop for Canberra. Inner West sending that wall back to the line to try and stop them, though. Inner West looking to reset at the front with Pussy Galore and Rainbow Smash. No dice on that one, though. Short stop out. Lead jammer goes to Canberra.
Pussy Galore is one of the skaters that are really able to stick on Shorty more than some of the other ones. I don't know if it's years of being up against Shorty.
Years of being up against, possibly. Power jam here to Canberra. Velvet Whiplash sent to the penalty box for either a cut or a forearms, as we know. You do get the occasional jammer multiplayer penalty, but usually it's cuts and forearms.
Yeah. It's one of those things that is like, the same. Inner
West providing some serious defense against Shorty there, so much so that shortstop calls off the jam. Icing the Inner West jammer in the penalty box, probably for the full 10 seconds. It looked like Velvet stood just as the whistles were going. And as ridiculous as it might sound, folks, 10 seconds is an incredibly long time in roller derby.
Absolutely. Think how, you could down a beer in that time.
Pink Mist looking to take advantage of this brief power start that Canberra have here. Lead is still open at this point in time. Velvet Whiplash rejoining Inner West on the track. Some excellent work from the Canberra defensive wall there. General Payne signalling no pack, forcing the Canberra is scoring points now for Canberra. Calls it off just in time.
I thought they were going to turn around and be like, come at my chest. And I'm like, oh, that jam is coming real fast. I don't even know if no, I would.
Yeah, you would. We both would.
I'm like, that doesn't seem logical.
Lol.
When I'm on the track, logic ain't the thing.
That doesn't seem logical. Have you met my chest before?
Yeah. Hello.
Wow, that actually, I didn't quite mean it like that, but anyway. Shortstop lining up to jam for Canberra. Jinx, number 9, wearing the star for Inner West.
Oh.
Yeah, Inner West with that pack advantage. Definitely doing a good job of holding shortstop.
Jinx's footwork, that from the start of that jam to getting out, was insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
All right, good opportunity for Jinx to put some points on the board here. Nice little hop and a skip.
Go on, do it. Give him the. Oh.
J-Ref, no points.
It was mad though.
It was very good.
That
And if
was-
J-Ref says you didn't score, you definitely didn't score. If anything, you probably lost points.
-2.
-2. All right, folks. Inside the last minute of this game here, maybe 1 or 2 jams left. We have Tough Luck lining up to jam for Canberra. Chambers following the suck back. I don't want to get stuck in that.
No.
Lou Riot wearing the star for Inner West.
Blue Riot's just going around their own wall to see where is the option for them. Canberra's like, no, we're over here. Now we're over here.
Yeah, Canberra are doing excellent work. You already called it out before, Energy. Their lateral movement in 3 walls is fabulous.
Yeah.
And they're also not giving up space. So even when they have to rotate a little bit, track space at all.
But they're also not doing much at all. It's very delayed. It's very methodical. They're opting for a solid 4 wall more than not. That'll be time.
And with that jam called off, the period clock has expired. It'll be the end of this game. We're just going to wait for the official score.
I don't think I've said it this weekend yet, but Canberra's colours are so iconic.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the same as Newcastle.
Yes, you see a flash of that colour, like even out in the wild, whenever I see that colour, I go, ooh, Derby. Like,
Yeah, you know.
If seeing like anyone with tattoos isn't enough for me to be like, hey, have you heard about roller derby? Like, it's right up there. You see that kind of colour mix, and you just go,
And
ooh.
you know. I might just quickly run through our officials crew. We're waiting
Oh,
for.
please.
So we had on this game Denominator, Bullseye, Candy, Honey Badger, Clareful, Consideration, Boom Tish, General Payne, John Ref Kennedy. We had in the middle Mercy and Nasty Surprise in the penalty box. Knitting's Police, Even Steven, and I'm pretty sure that's a Winosaur on the end there, but my glasses not quite picking it up. Seaflawed. What looks like our tournament head NSO Spanish Inquisition on the score desk, and also Spanners. Sparkles. Too many SP referees.
So good with names.
I did pretty good there. I was doing it well yesterday. There's maybe 1 or 2 officials here whose names I don't know by sight. But, yeah.
Because not all the officials have the names on their backs.
No.
I need that. That's the good thing about Derby, is I need the names.
All right, folks, that is the end. Final score has been whistled. Inner West 100 plays Canberra's 193. All right. Good question.
That's a great question. Hold on. Looking for pieces of paper. They are right there.
Because pieces of paper usually have things written on them. All right, folks. We might leave it there for this game. Everyone round doing their high fives. Thank you, folks. Energy and I will be back for the next game in about 10 or 15 minutes. Thank you.
Bye.